And hello everybody, welcome to another Basil Gaming production. My name is Douglas and I'll be working with you today in our part 4 of the Zero King Idle Defense. We're working towards getting all of our achievements for prestige in, some boss killing, and eventually the conquering of all the land. But the Zero Stress King Idle Defense has been a test in efficiency. And here we are at the precipice of really locking down the last island, getting as many spawns as we can. As you can see on the left-hand side, we have all of our unlocks completely upgraded at this point. And if we go to our island view, we can see that we have as far as the islands will take us, with some intermittent discrepancies for our click down the music volume a little bit. Intermittent discrepancies for not filling out all of the potential upgrades, just so that we can be as efficient as possible with as best gain to benefit ratios as we can come up with. With that in mind, we are in fact progressing. Let's see, our next step was to maximize our imp damage, as well as our additional multipliers, knockback percentages, and range increases, so that the imps, our last offensive upgrade that we've been able to find in this island, are in fact maxed out, and that way we can progress towards any other benefits. Let's just hammer some of these out real quick, or as quickly as these very expensive upgrades will take us. As you can see, we have quite the slew of different entities running from right to left in an attempt to attack us. So we are trying to do our best to put them down before they reach the lava. And just as a recap, we did look into some potential upgrade paths for our next time around. We've unlocked 12 additional prestige points, and we have pretty much the option to clear the board here. We'll continue to see if we can go that far here shortly. Shouldn't be much of a question. I'm sure we can. We're very close to getting all of the unlocks potential. And after we get some of this imp upgrade taken care of, we'll really be in a good place. We do have additional unlocks here for the last monument we upgraded, for damage purposes, multipliers, as well as some of these actual increases for range defense, multipliers for our defenders. In the interim, we can increase some of our spawnings for different entities to kill, so we can get additional experience. Probably going to be a good way to go at this point. Let's backtrack a little bit, make sure we have all of them taken care of up to this point. Like, we don't have the snowman here. And by snowman, I mean the iron golem. Again, he's just kind of stuck here on the snow island, the dwarf area. One more upgrade and we'll max him out. If we max out not only his base, which is the amount of spawns he has, the amount of experience he drops, these other options loot drop. And in the previous 3 parts, we've discussed the issue with the first island having food production, second island with logs, we've had mining production for some sort of metal. Dwarves provide us gold from our production here, gold mining. Our next area, we were able to have the production of a, what was it called? Alchemy. I'm not really quite sure what kind of resource that is more specifically. And in this last area here, we're dealing with rune crafting. Now all these can be seen across the top of the screen, starting from the left, which is experience gained by all areas of our progress. But food, wood, metal, gold, alchemy, and then runes. And in truth, there's no way for us to leverage as you can see, the numbers here are wildly high in the millions. There's no way for us to leverage overproduction of these materials. Early on, we struggled to get enough. We had some decent time with the wood, And on the second island here, we unlock all production size in a multiplicative way, as well as production time reduction, which really helped set us off on a good flat line. We then continued on here with no additional production benefits, still no way to dump any additional produced resources until we get to this second to last island here on the fifth island, and we end up running to another option to have increased multiplicative gain for production of materials. I have not put more into it than just the one to unlock to see where it takes us. Only because we have had so much resources just sitting here producing, and obviously the benefit from getting kills from each respective entity that drops us pick a loot when we kill them. Because everything we slay here not only provides us experience based on the upgrades we've given it, but also a resource. And this resource, coupled with these production lines here on the bottom left hand side of this level, will inevitably provides us additional resources from which we have no ability to utilize, roll over to additional upgrades at this time. I think we don't have the option to really take those and utilize those forward until we get into the prestiges here. So we would get the herbalist coupled with the commander, and the commander grants full archer upgrades at the start and allows us to buy units beyond the limit at a much higher price. I don't know what the breadth of that is and how far that will take us. I think that'll be the opportunity we get to really utilize those additional resources. Sorry, I was talking. Our timer, our amount of resources hadn't kicked in yet. So we're kind of just in this old pattern until we can get either a decision to go forward, to continue to upgrade, or to add some additional experience drops for every entity in the group. We can put points into that in a second. Well, let's get more spawns of these base zombies here. We have ghouls. Then we have these death knights from our most recent island. We can just get extra spawns, extra resources from them. I think that'll be the smart way to go here. Just pump these for a second while we continue to gain more and more. Now, maybe the case I will look back at our level and we will begin to be overrun. From the beginning of this playthrough, we have tried to set the standard that our hope is our defensive line on the left-hand side in these various ranges from which we can see attacks hit prevent at no more than a third of the total amount of things spawning make it to the lava. That is the threshold I felt like we were being successful enough to warrant the pace by which we were progressing to be just right. So with that in mind, we've been kind of upgrading just the unit spawn for the default amount of experience and production. And then we've only been upgrading the experience gain to better afford the upgrades for the continuation. But this time we haven't had any issues. Our progress has been pretty linear. Damage to killing. Our philosophy for this entire playthrough has primarily been on the production side first, producing enough materials to bring our defensive measures in line, for our defensive measures to actually then provide support for the production. We did not go the other way where we tried to overextend in the defensive side so that we had to have the defensive side produce support for our production. And there's certainly multiple ways to do this. I just wanted to go this route, so I felt like we had a better grasp in the push and pull here about our progress. There's no question that we may attempt to do that differently as we continue to go through these plays, but for now, this has worked quite well for us. Did we bring more imps onto the battle here? I'm a little choky here for whatever reason as I'm beginning talking. Nothing like a little Diet Dr. Pepper on the rocks to help out. We'll just continue to upgrade these to bring them more in line with bonds necessary for additional upgrades. But I think for now we're probably in a really happy space overall. So we can probably shoot attempt this boss area just to see how we're doing. Now I'm gonna let this go, just the auto spin on the obelisk, just to see how we do. I do think there's probably going to be an issue with this main. Is that a Balrog? Is that a Red Lord of some sort? Are there any differences between those two? I don't know. But there may be a need for the obelisk to really weigh in. All right, let's pound the damage on him. We're kind of getting just wave after wave after wave. Very interesting. A lot more spawns for this particular wave than there has been in these previous ones. So curious how this is going to progress. These spawns seem to be pretty easily dispatched. Okay. Seemingly that marked the end of the run, which means we're definitely ahead of the curve on this. What I'd like to see. Let's try these little spawn for our extra prestige points. I'm kind of getting the dialogue as if this is over, so. Now we know we failed at this boss level previously due to the, I guess, overall difficulty. So I am commanding this to help slow down some of these, I guess, necromancer spawns. These guys are insanely tough. Yeah, we're not going to beat this level. Yowza. Okay, well, we're not there yet. Well, it's okay. We'll continue to get some upgrades here and see if we can do a better job. Massive upgrades. Defensively speaking. We'll focus a little bit on that. Additional spawn level. More spawns, more loot. Right? Green is quite full. All right, what are goals here at this moment? Well, I think we just want to max out our obelisk here for the damage output so we can try to effectuate some sort of attempt at that additional necromancer level. And we can do that pretty quickly here. Then we could try to do a speed run here because apparently we killed the last boss available to us in the game. There's not another island to progress to. There's no more boss faction for us to consider. So with that in mind, we're just here without the need for this extra production area. We're just here at the moment to collect experience to put more down towards our conquest effort for this additional prestige point. Alright, there's that. And a little bit more critical chance multiplier for the obelisks, which adds to all of them. Maybe a sunk cost fallacy here to continue to pump experience this late in the game. For what benefit, I guess, but you know, more experience, more better. Certainly a take. Whether or not it's correct is an entirely different story. Just give it a second. We'll get some experience, and then we'll try that necromancer additional level for the prestige point. Maybe we can do a quick run here with all of our prestige points towards the play, and we'll go from there. All right, 2 more upgrades, and then we're doing this necro level, which should give us our last prestige point, and we can apply that towards our prestige tree, and we'll be all the better off. Now, question here. While we haven't had any feedback in chat yet or any comments to the videos that I've posted previously. I would normally put this to everybody. What is our circumstance for our progression next time around? For example, here we get choices between crossbowmen, cannons. Here we have a choice between these green damage splash and slowing effect forest creatures and dryads that have that extra piercing. Here we have orc cannons to do like a shotgun effect or knockback high crits, white damage, bee chuckers. And here the choice that we had was between these dwarf shooter long shots with these versus these guys that do red damage that have a splash attack. From the photo, kind of looks like he's got a red beard, eyebrows, and this mohawk, and he's holding out his hand with his palm up, holding what seemingly is like an old round grenade of sorts, which might be interesting. And here we chose the Banshee with the green damage and shoots pellets, kind of staying with the projectile side of things, instead of going with this green damage piercing all targets with a beam. And then finally, our defensive choice here, we went with an imp that opens a portal apparently and shoots knockback tridents, how it really worked out, versus again this red damage splash attack. So maybe for our last playthrough, maybe not a perfect playthrough in speed and efficiency, because I just don't know how these different towers are going to react. But maybe we should go the opposite of what we picked here, so that we can just get an idea of how well things are actually going. Challenge of it. All right, well, those are all my defensive towers, fully upgraded and maxed out. Let's give this another boss guy another go. See how we do here. Try to focus these guys down as best I can. Kind of run of the mill, blowing them. That may be the case. We don't have the correct tower combination to deal with this. I don't know what that means and like what is the correct tower combination. But what I do know is that we apparently are not completing this level. It is a bummer, but certainly could be a reality. We may not have it all. Then begs the question, which prestige point do we hold off on getting? All right, well, I think it's pretty safe to... Let's prestige. Get our points. We'll go from there. So, definitely want this one. The 4. This imp and this experience gain, of course. Resources gained will help out a lot. Should we pull back some of the prices here? I think we want to. Damage in general is probably fine. I think I'd rather have additional resources gained rather than Yeah. We kind of get messed over because we have one additional point here. Well, I guess we can just put it there, maximize it out. Critical effect is nice. That's fine. Additional archers we'll be able to purchase. This none option here is not really what I want to go with. So let's go here. Now here we are at the beginning. Get the production up and running, quite simply, and gonna get some benefit back now from all of these guys diving into the diving into the lava. Obviously our archers are all maxed. We just got to bring them into the game. We do get more bang for the buck if we kill them first, so we don't want things to get into the lava. But with the benefits we have now of them running into the lava, we don't necessarily lose anything by... we do lose something. We're not as efficient. But we certainly don't have the absolute loss that is progressing differently now. Right, production time, max level there. Let's get the obelisk. It's not super important. We don't have the ability to auto fire it, and it's so small a radius comparatively. And let's focus still primarily on the production first to support everything. I think that's really what we're shooting for here. So let's get more things in the field here, and we want to go this route and the experience side of it. Pretty good to start here. As it should. Using those prestige points was obviously a resetting of the game. So we're maximizing the potential benefit here. Now we need to keep an eye on making sure we get enough archers in the field as we continue to press forward. But we can also continue to press more of the enemies out there. Bring some more of... Now the new foot soldiers in play. Production's already taken care of. We have all the archers upgrades as part of the start. And we are just literally moving forward here. Got one spawn, we get this. Now we can choose the opposite. We're not going to go with the cannons. We're going to go the opposite of what we picked before, which is these crossbowmen. Just kind of mow through these grids. Blind spot. Miss range. Violent, please. And bring as many of those as we can to bear. 35 is fantastic. These upgrades early on are going to be quite quick. I'm going to be prioritizing getting more defensive structures on the field, and then reload time, and then damage. Since I didn't have to do any of those upgrades with these archers to start, that was just something that was already completed. But that's going to be the pace I'm going to be going with. How many can we buy to make sure we're not wasting any resources? Reload speed, and then damage. That's going to be my upgrade path in this regard, and then we'll get more ranges and more criticals as we go forward. Certainly more on the field than we can handle defensively speaking right now, but remember, we're not losing all the potential experience gains. They're still running into the lava, and we are actually receiving resources from that. Just obviously huge benefit, and one of the prestige bonuses that we've had. So We'll continue to utilize that as we go forward here. Keep upgrading these. To keep adding spawns as well, because we are not going to be limited by that, since we're going to be getting a benefit from it. End of story. We can see here from the stats, you know, we're still doing more damage than the lava's doing, so we're doing okay. Now, where does this come in prestige-wise? Where it says here, allows you to buy units beyond the limit at a much higher price. Where does that come in? Buy limit. Can't seemingly buy more units here so far. Maybe it requires us to max these out first. Don't know. You guys are obviously joining me here for my first time through this playthrough. So we're trying it out together. One more upgrade for the damage on these crossbowmen. Perfect. Now we'll get some more of these equipment spawns like we did for the rogues. We'll just keep ping-ponging the cheapest, most efficient of the two here between the archers and the crossbowmen, just to make sure our resources aren't sitting idle too long. Perfect. Now we can try a boss level here in a second. For these satyrs, all we need to do here is click this button. I want to try to maybe get a few more archers up, and we'll be on our way. Let's get, after the ping-ponging back and forth, let's get this crossbowman to level, rather, 45 of 50 defenders at level. And that way we'll pour in as many resources as we can into the damage numbers for our upgrades. And we'll be better off as we attempt the boss. 760,000 for the next crossbowman. Excuse me. Good, looking good. More experience. We got one more for critical chance and a couple more for critical chance multiplier on the crossbowman. There's that. All right, let's get the boss attempt. This will allow us to unlock the Satyr Island, Island 2. As long as we can obviously complete it. I can use my little obelisk here to do some damage to this front rider. Although it doesn't seem like it's a factor. Alright, an easy unlock. Not surprised, but get her done. Alright, let's also scoot down over here. Let's give you rather here, maybe a resource unlocker. Let's just push towards that real quick. There it is. That's what we want, the multiplier. Perfect. And we get the production in. We get both of these as high as we possibly can. Let's max these out next for all the experience usage. So that way we are receiving the maximum we can as far as reap the production values. I still don't know where we're able to do the upgrades here as it relates to our prestige. Allows already your friend, but we want to know how the commander affects our play. Again, grants full archer upgrade to the start. That's fantastic. Allows you to buy units beyond the limit at a much higher price. Where does it give us this option? I'm not seeing it so far. I can't click on these units at any additional amounts that I've already got. So where are those upgrades? So I just need to know that answer to better provide, you know, where we are on this whole island part. Is that even a commander I want or a prestige points I wanted to use? Right now, it doesn't seem like it's the case. Think of it. Let's pick these guys here. Just do one unlocks. There's our slowing effect, reload speed, of course, damage range, buy limit. No critical multiplier here. Very interesting. Okay, and then where's the damage? There's no damage increase? One to 1-1. Very interesting. That seems like a very weak choice by comparison. Wow. A little shocked by that, but I guess also not surprised. Hopefully they do really well. Go ahead and go production limit. There it is. Points into this one. That way I'm not wasting production time over here. Guess we need more of these to bring into play. All right. I'm gonna push this crossbow to the max here. Ah, okay. So now we can continue to buy more. All right, perfect. So that means we definitely want to get our production to the highest we possibly can. and that way we can buy these units higher, higher, and higher. Our crossbowmen are going to be the ones doing more damage. We want to make sure that we emphasize those over others. Sorry, in the value of food production between the regular archer and the crossbowman, we can go to the Zerotopia here and find out that here we are. We have base damage is from 40 to 280. Here it's 120 to 840. So we definitely want more of the crossbowmen first and foremost. They just do more damage in total, and they have better knockback facets that we want to make sure we have part of our playthrough here. One more in this. We're almost done with the production max. Beautiful. Okay, now I just gotta make sure I have enough buy limits. Perfect. The resources, it's already max again. Let's get our archers to 80 of 80, just because OCD is real, and I want to see that numbered even. Okay, now we go back to our Zerotopia. Does that increase the damage? It does not, but it does provide us the ×9 and the 10% base chance multiplier. So clearly it's a better choice overall. No problem. More huts can we pick up? You. That's max. Go max range. Let's go reload time on these dryads. I feel like they forgot the damage aspect of these dryads. They're always 60 on the damage type. That is really strange. Because our hunters, our dryad huntresses, they had really high damage, among our higher damage dealers in our last couple of playthroughs. We chose them, and they were awesome. So a little bit strange to see them where they are. Okay, there we go. We can continue to buy more for extremely high prices, but at least we have a reason to have production as a priority for the later levels at the very minimum. All right, let's boost this production as well. Back here. Almost to the max production facilities for wood. Give just a moment, I'll wait for it. There it is. And now we're just pumping out the dryads as best as we can. Which shouldn't take us too long to get to. Back to this. Great for food wise. Gonna be a second. It does take over 2 million now a pop for food production, which is fine. The way that the upgrades continue to steepen as we unlock more and more of them. Production size, just do production time here really quick. And we're not going to have any additional reason to put down any other items for our dryads. Our dryads are the only thing that take wood for production purposes, so we're gonna have slow everywhere because of how many different dryads we're gonna have available to us, which I think will probably be a bigger boon than what it seems to be right now on its face, because this is gonna take a second for us to get through everything, get all the upgrades as we go forward. Get the, I think the auto, the auto options here. There it is, 12,000. I need that. That way I can at least get the obelisk will auto cast. And while it's not going to be, a massive improvement as far as damage goes, it's certainly something, and it'll set the stage for it being auto casting when I'm not on that screen forever. So we'll leave that out currently. Okay, well, we need more food production to get these crossbowmen up. So what we're going to do from this moment, we're going to go ahead and continue to buy more spawns for these knights. They're going to help us out, get more bang for the buck. As soon as we know we're still stable here, we might be able to consider getting more experience drops. But right now, let's just stay focused on the spawns themselves, giving us the experience that we know that they can grant us. We're gonna leak a little bit here. That's fine. We're just trying to do the best we can, and we're continue to put out all of the upgrades we can for each of these defensive met towers, and we're going to be able to continue to go past the maximum threshold as the base game allows, which is going to be huge. We had hundreds of millions of resources we couldn't utilize in our last playthrough because we couldn't do that, so this will be good. I'm pushing for these upgrades to get more satyrs, prince, and obviously these dryads, specifically for the purposes that it gives us resources. We are going to have them fly into the lava. At the very minimum, they're going to give us some resource back. It's a, fractionally speaking, a fractional amount by comparison. But we're going to continue to unlock more and more towers, or continue to unlock more and more areas, and we'll continue to sweep them up as the upgrades allow us to. But we're playing a little bit more faster and looser, just to make sure that we're really maximizing all of our resources at this time. So that's the plan. Boss here real quick. We can get to the next area, unlock more defense towers, upgrade them, continue to go forward. Good slows from our dryads. Perfect. All right, so we can go here to the goblin. We're picking this orc woman here. Was not quite happy with her in the first go around when we did try her because her range seemed to be very limited. But it looks like you do get upgrades later on where she's able to really prioritize some damage. So that's fantastic. Get our mines here kicking as well. There's that. Production size, buy limit's what we need. Get those to auto. Get them once each for that. Just got to start them off, right? So we want to buy the first one. You need to buy production facilities here. As you can see, our experience is swiftly climbing up. Be boosting that for our additional kills. A reload on our production time. Reductions for our mining purposes. More mines in total. Mostly we're not really... Well, we can put some damage into it, but... Back here. A very narrow range, these orc archers, these orc throwers, so let's fix that real quick. Try to maximize their ability to do damage. Especially with our towers that slow everything. Our woodland dryad enchantresses for what they're doing. They slow stuff and we can get more attacks in because our range is better. Then I think that's a valuable upgrade. Okay. Upgrades, buy the upgrades. We're kind of just watching numbers here as they climb. I know it's a little bit on the... Well, it's kind of boring, but also necessary at this point. Need more production limit. Get this last unit cap for the axe thrower, so at least we know we have what we need to have on the front line. Okay, perfect. And we're gonna prioritize getting these mines fixed as well, and then we're gonna go straight to reload, and then straight to damage. Mine froze, forgive me. 2 more upgrades for this mining. 1. 2. And 3. Right. almost to the max level of it. Get this first and focus on other stuff in a second. If the max, well, let's prioritize this here. One more left. Going pretty quickly. And then anything after that will just go always into these axe throwers. And we're going to be able to have a lot of them. We have nothing else to spend our metal on. And that's now maxed. Alright, let's make sure the production cycle of it is, also following suit. We're just doing lowest production cycle and damage and reload for all of the this one. For all these upgrades, we need them all before we want to progress anywhere. We might as well just get them. The circumstances here. We can always just max those out, no problem. Keep rotating back and forth between these two until this archers get to level 80. Then we're just focusing entirely on these knockback crossbowmen. Every time we get a little bit of upgrades here for these axe throwers, and every time we buy another defensive guy, that's just that much more damage making into the field. So we're continuing to push back these hordes. Obviously, we have a ways to go to really put our thumb in the hole for leaking, but we're well on the way. There's no question about it. What's the overlay here? Not much. Okay. All right, 56 crossbowmen on the field. A multiplier. Go big on this one real fast. Definitely being able to handle more and more damage as we go. Need so many upgrades. So many upgrades. Already at 10 million for the dryads? Holy moly. But we already have 32 of them, so we'll probably continue to get there. Get these to have these, but I don't think they make a huge difference. Okay, we probably prioritize adding some additional spawns as we're now ahead of the game. Let's get these dryads here as well. Almost to the max axe stores at a 50. Then we're going to go beyond that, of course. One more here for this. Gives a 5 out of 10 with both the critical chance and the critical multiplier. The axe store, and then we can try to push and get a few of these other ones taken care of first. Yeah. One more for the metal production. 55 grand is quite the investment, but let's do it. We want that for sure. Perfect. All right, metal is moving. Go there. Keep working on these team ones as well. We at a boss point yet? Not quite. Let's see if we can even get to the next boss spot. Survey says. I don't think we're there yet, but maybe we are. Could certainly be wrong. All right, looks like our dryads have these guys slowed permanently, so we're good. Well done. Pretty happy about that. Okay, let's go on then. It's actually just unlock some of the base scenarios, like these extra towers. We get those, we get these. Get mining up underway. Do what? Raw damage here. So I'll let the experience go too far. Get the gold kicking. Buy limit kicking. We're maxed on the regular archers. Fantastic. Good to hear. Good to see. Maxed on our little orc ladies as well. These defender max ranges and minimum ranges are really important. Gives our towers that much more range to kill stuff. I know you know what it means, but emphasizing what I feel is that the importance of getting those upgrades maxed out. We're a little ways into the stream. I hope all who are watching this video, either in the present or in the short term after it, are enjoying it. This is a Basil Gaming production, and again, my name is Douglas. Thanks for joining me on this little adventure, trying to cram through this and get as many of these upgrades as we can. Great. Please feel free to leave some comments down below if you wish to provide some feedback or your appreciation for what I'm doing or your criticisms. I accept both. Happy to have feedback from anybody about the topics of this game. I also plan on, just for the viewer here, I also plan on playing games like the Factorio, the Riftbreaker. I like to get into maybe some Battlefield 6 from time to time. I am playing Cole LLC as well for one of these other single player type games. I might dibble dabble in some of these more idle defenses or incremental games as we go. And with that in mind, I'd be happy to play with community members if you would like to join me going down the road. Love to have the help. Love to have the camaraderie take place between us. And I'd like to hear the feedback as best as you guys can provide it. So be a part of the community. Let's all do it together here, and let me know in the comment section below if you would ever like to participate in some events. I also think that the full release of the Spell Brigade, which is a 4-player co-op, Bullet Heaven or Hell, depending on which side of the coin you want to play. That is also becoming something of a future onlooking option, and can't wait to get that one kicking as well. So if you would like to participate in some future games with myself and others in the community, let me know. Still trying to get all these gold productions unlocked. Bare minimum, just get them started. Auto part, excellent. Great upgrade. Five of 10. Something more damage. Reload and knockback and more of these dryads and more of these goblins. We need it all. We need all the experience all the sooner. Here real quick. That out, max that out. Minimum levels maxed as far as the range goes. That's fantastic. Also increase the maximum level here shortly as well. Get a 4 or 5. And upgrade. Yeah, 82,000 to max that out. Huge amount of experience, but will be worth the upgrade for certain. Then we'll continue to work on this overall damage. Defender reload. Got a lot of upgrades to get. I know this is just a game about upgrades, but we're just trying to get them all. Already up to 59 of 50 crossbowmen, 52 of 50 on the little orc warrior tea party girls. Okay, range is maxed out there. Love that. Production 1. In the back of my head, I am thinking production first here. I don't know if you guys all sympathize with me as well. I want to be able to add just more enemies into the map so that we can just continue to have more experience come across the table here. But we got to get there first. Pound out some more. Radius. Damage. Reload timer. Need them all, right? Need them all. And on the area radius, that's just absolutely crazy. Don't want any more of these archers. Although it probably makes more sense to continue to just upgrade them for price purposes. Go with that for now. Gonna maximize this as much as I can, efficiency wise, on the field. More out there we have, the better for us. So let's go with that. What upgrades here? What's the minimum amount of upgrade? 37,000. Okay, let's max that out. That's perfect. Get that done too. Okay, we're doing it. We're doing it. Now we'll just get this guy defensively speaking. Good. plug holes here real quick. So 10,000 is less than 13,000 less. 15,000 is the least. So go 16,000 next. 1,000. 219s here. We'll go with the radius because more boom is better. Then let's keep going with regards to our releasing of the hounds. 9,000, then 11, 12 again. We have the Trents maxed out. Yes, we do. We have the stators maxed out. Where you don't need, these are the next progressions here as far as upgrades go. You can actually see 4 upgrades on the screen. Well, let's just go with the cheapest. 15, then 16. We'll just keep putting units on the field. Ten 15. Production wise. Route. That route. Almost maxed out on the damage there for that orc woman. Her axe throwing aficionado. Just force that out here. Couple more on the production for the metal. One more left for that and they'll be good to go. Keep making sure our upgrades keep clicking. We're not letting anything leak. We're doing it in that regard. We're just short on experience right now. Which, in fact, let's continue to maximize this best we can. Let's go back to the beginning here. Let's get all the experience notes from this first island for each of the different spawns, just to make sure we're getting the most out of those as we can. As soon as I get this one, now it is maxed out. We can focus on doing the same thing here. Experience, experience, and experience. For each of Island 2's summons. Perfect. Why do we want to do that? We just want the most experience we can to make sure we can continue to keep pace with all these upgrades. That's really what we're looking to do here. Stream's been going for about 80 minutes. Please feel free to leave a comment below. Let me know how I'm doing. Good, bad, or indifferent. Do you like the strategy? Do you think you would be doing it some different parts of this, at least, or the entirety of it? Always a different way to do this, and happy to hear how people are having success, even if it's not the way I'm doing it specifically. Get this damage multiplier here in place. An expensive one. There we go. get these gold mines to max as well. I don't know why we haven't done it yet. 90,000, I guess maybe that's the answer. They cost a lot. If you have been joining me for these 80 minutes previously, not only let me know, but also consider subscribing to the channel. I'll be putting out more content like this, and again, as I mentioned previously, I'll be having community members join me. Friends and family will likely participate in some gaming down the road. And I just want to have this place be an open location for people to come and spend their time and enjoy what they're doing, thinking about, or having their day. So please subscribe. Get tuned in touch with more content coming up. And obviously, any feedback you can give me, I'd be very appreciative to receive, regardless on what it is. If I gotta use Google Translate to make it happen, I will. And we'll go from there. There it is. Got that. Just taking care of on the upgrades right away. Here, perfect. And get these reloads kicking as well. Perfect. Okay, mines are all maxed out. Now we're just continuing to upgrade as they come in. I have my kitten Coco. He's gonna be doing, I think, figure eights around my feet for the short moment. And you hear her meowing? That's why. He just needed some attention real fast and is now plopped over on the right hand side here. Just getting some stretches in, sitting in the sunlight. You know how cats go, just like dogs. And the ragdolls, if you're unfamiliar with the breed, give them a Google. Ragdoll, just as it may sound, Ragdoll. They're named in that way because when you pick them up, they kind of just go limp, like a ragdoll might. And their personalities as a cat are actually more akin to that of a dog. Very laid back, very much want to be in your space. They are certainly amongst the best temperamented animals I've ever been around. Especially domesticated in the house. Just really great. Highly recommend them. We have two of them, by the way. The one Coco that just came by and meowed, if that was picked up by the microphone. And we have another one named Cece. Coco, as appropriately named, is brown. He's got the what's called the mink coat, is how the designation is within the breeding of ragdolls, which just means she has a brown overcoat. So ragdolls at a base are mostly just white as a base coat. So the mink is as if somebody was wearing a mink coat. So they have the in a sense coat of the brown over the top of them as their primary color. She's got a little bit of a black face too and mask. And Coco, as a mink coated ragdoll, also has a distinguishing factor of being knitted. And I don't know for other breeds of cats, but for ragdolls, and from my experience, limited as it may be, knitted certainly pertains to the fact that they have white on their paws. So picturing my now described ragdoll Coco, black face, mostly brown body with white feet, as if she's wearing gloves. So she's a white-based cat that has a coat of brown and white paws, as if she was wearing gloves. I'm not quite sure why the categorization of her leans towards she was described as a little kid wearing a mink coat and some mittens going out to the snow. I don't know why, but that's how she was described. She's super cute. She's got a great personality and good voice, and she is definitively our lap sitter on the couch. That is her domain. Grades. Where is here? One more upgrade for the reload on this guy. We want to have that maxed. Just like we do the damage, get these 3 primaries in. Expensive upgrade, but bam, no substitute for good reloading speed. Here. All right, we have our spawns now caught up to us from the first area and the experience, second in experience, and then now the third, the knight and the experience from there. We don't have the experience kicking in from the second island yet, but we do have our spawn increases from our third island maxed out as we're working on these additional. So I'm gonna go ahead and bump these up here for the second island as well. So here, and the experience for the Trents and their experience from the Dryad and their experience. More for this. Get this real quick. And Island 2 is now successful in that regard. I guess maybe I should also be going forward with getting the loot from the earlier parts here to help maximize development of additional resources. Maybe that'll be the staple here. So we have now completed island spawns for the entire first island and all their upgrades. So we should be getting more bread in a sense is what we're looking for, without sacrificing too much because we're already on Tower 3. But certainly got to keep in mind that we continue to progress in the damaged towers to make sure we're not falling behind too far. Perfect. Let's get the damage up on this tower to max this out. Then let's try to address some critical damage multipliers for some of the defensive towers that we may have not picked up to date. It may not be a huge factor, but it all adds up, and if we're going to leave that much damage on the table, we want to make sure we're getting as much bang for our buck as we possibly can. Goblin upgrades. Just the experience part on this third island. Grenader. So let's check and see how the Grenader is actually doing here. I want to get these upgrades taken care of. I know that we're not getting really all the towers involved all the time. But we want to just see what's going on here. Also interesting that the archers, the base archer is the one doing the most damage from the tier 1. I thought the crossbowman would certainly be the one in that position. We now have maximized the Grenader as far as the amount defaultly, and we'll be going above and beyond that here shortly. I guess it's because the Archer is always attacking. I guess that certainly makes sense to some degree. One more upgrade for this guy's damage. 180,000 resources to do so. And the Dryads are actually kicking butt and taking names. Those slow guys. Their range is pretty big and significant right now too, and they do offer splash damage. Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards a certain upgrade path for them. All right, thinking out loud here. The Dryads are doing as much damage as the entire Island 1 and 3 are doing because of the way that they're progressing. And almost as much as everything, all the towers combined. That type of efficiency and the fact that they provide slow to so many different, to all the attacks and things they hit. The next thing after I get this last upgrade real quick for the area damage, 180,000 for this Mater, is to go back and get all the loot upgrades for all of Island 2 percentage-wise. We want to try to get as many of them on the field as we can. The upgrade cost for the Dryad obviously is at 31 million because they're just going to go up and up and up here. But that's just so much. So let's try to make that as best we can, benefit-wise for our playthrough here. And I think the way to do that is, in fact, upgrade everything in that regard. So if we go back over here, we're looking at increasing loot drop 400% for that guy. So we don't actually get more of them, but we definitely get a lot of them. What am I saying? Forgive me. I was thinking a couple steps ahead. But we don't get any more of them, but their health has increased 100% for additional 400% loot return for our benefit. So we may not see specifically the upgrades in play here. Where's that guy get through? But we will see the production of wood material go up. If we were to stare at it, we'd see an increase of it more quickly. I like that. We'll do the same here for the Dryads. And after we get that taken care of, let's continue to go through some progression for the critical upgrades. Get those towers taken care of. Get those obelisks, I think, upgrades from all the way from Island 1, 2, and 3, and then even 4. Focus on that real quick, just to have them available, even in the 1 percentile. They're not meant to do a ton of damage, but it'd be nice to at least have an option for their upgrades going down the road here. Okay, those are Dryad upgrades. Alright, we got critical options here. No critical options or damage increases for the Dryads. Which is impressive considering they're leading the damage charge right now. So let's look at the choices. Same thing, we can do experience here. Experience first. Oko decided to jump up in my lap, so I'm now joined by a pretty brown ragdoll kitten. Funny story. I'm allergic to cats. Not so much in the inhaling part, but I if I get clawed by them, I feels like I got cut by a burning knife. Immediately, got to rub water into it to dilute that whatever the oils that get injected from them licking themselves, cleaning themselves, and just being kittens in general. The dander, maybe. Kind of a weird sensation. I even grew up with cats and dogs, and it was the case I never had any issues then. I kind of developed allergies in my early mid-20s to seasonal stuff. And when I had moved away from home, I didn't have animals for a number of years just because I didn't think it was appropriate. You know, younger in life, I didn't have the time, the space to have a dog or a cat with roommates and crazy work hours of different jobs and positions I've had in my past. So it's certainly something that nice to get animals again. These kittens have been a godsend. We've had them now for a little bit over 2.5 years. More upgrade here, more maximum experience. Come on. 150. Beautiful. And I wasn't talking about it when I picked it up, but the upgrades here at the top are kind of an on all upgrade across all enemies. Wanting more of them. I also got the experience modifier as well, that every one of them gives 100% more experience. And it is the case that that's a pretty powerful upgrade for certain. So I wanted to get it, make sure that it was to our benefit. Obelisk upgrades are kind of still a little on the stagnant side, and that's fine. Power-wise, we're looking good. Got all the upgrades across the board except for here. So I guess get these taken care of. Guys. Looking good. Again, obelisk upgrades. Unlock it. 10 million. Great upgrade. 11 million. Alright, we're doing it. We're doing great. Sure. Sign looks pretty good. Got all the experience bonus modifiers in place. Get these upgrades for this bomber just because we're really raking in the experience now. The amount of mobs on the screen have drastically increased, so continue to just be challenged by all the things. All right, but our defensive structures are maxed, and we haven't increased anything as far as the mobs go here on this island. But it is the case that we are looking, I think, to move to the next island for another defensive structure before we start pouring resources into the next step. Got to get the boss unlocked here for that purpose here. Where are we at for the next upgrade on wood? We're almost there, so let's wait for that one. That way we can have the experience to go forward when we get to the next island. As you can see, we have 30 0.55 million, and we'll wait for 31 million for the next wood upgrade for our dryads, who are doing astronomical amounts of damage. Still leading the way with now the dwarves kicking in with that extra splash damage. Let's keep investing in that direction forward. There it is. That's a good upgrade. Our dwarf throwers as it is, upgrade wise. Alright, let's get the boss kick in. See what our circumstances are. We're going to be doing double duty here. We got to kill all these previous wave and all the mobs that have spawned. I don't think we're going to get it. It seems to be out of range for everybody. It's strange. All right, successful. Nailed it. Now we didn't go the Necromancer last time. We went the Banshee. So let's go the Banshee here. Unlock that for the purpose of doing the unlock. Death Knight, resource production, and here's our big upgrade this time around. All the resources, please. Perfect. There's our last little bit. So let's focus this down real fast. Yeah, definitely. As many of these as possible. I don't even know what these guys do. Increase beam width. Okay, whatever that means. What is our resource here on this place? There it is. Alchemy, right? Towers here, we got to get one of them at least. The limit 1. 2. Beam width means nothing, but we'll get to it. 100,000. Alright, see what the story is here. Can't hold shift here because I got a cat in my other arm. Oh, the burdens, right? It looks like they're shooting beams directly out of side across the entire map. Oh my god. Quickly. Need to get the most of those we possibly can. Stop all the upgrades. Production, please. Production, please. Those guys. There's that. 3 more upgrades there. We absolutely have to have that upgrade. Need more building limits, more upgrades here. We need all the good things. My hesitation here is I'm just getting lost in my cat's eyes as she's staring up at me, completely in bliss. To hold her and to pet her. She is now on her back, in my arms, and yearning for belly pets. That's what I'm dealing with here. So, please, send help. Eventually, I'll work into getting an extra arm for the desk or some wall-mounted location where we can set up a camera. And if they decide to join me and sit with me, they can join and sit and watch, or just be in my space. Really, I think the ultimate goal here, I just want to be a part of my time and space. Like I said before, that's how they kind of, they are as ragdolls, or dog cats, and they are true cats. They have the personality. They want to be in the room with you. They want to be a participant in whatever you're doing. So that's just all I'm dealing with here. Beautiful. Good upgrade. Pushing this production value. Get this at the top. Love that. Love that. Efficiency purposes. Get as many of these as I can. Keep making these available. File limit, only 18 of them? Oh man. Need more of those. Get more of them, because we have the ability to do so. Production cycles are really good. Then we just add all those upgrades. Perfect. Almost done with the production value here. I know we're sinking a lot of resources into production stuff, and we're not really too far away from the end island, but we want to be able to get that stinking last prestige point from that necromancer extra level, and we didn't quite get that in the last playthrough. And if we do and are able to beat the boss on this playthrough, I would certainly consider that an overall victory. And that's obviously the goal, right? We want to position ourselves well, get all the upgrades we need to get. All right, looking at this other island here. Got a bunch of death knights, I'm sure, that are on the field. More dryads, please. That's away. We got a lot to see on the field. Go back to our first island. Go ahead and upgrade all of our damage for the monuments. Kind of max those out. No reason not to have it at this point. I know it gets expensive, but the reality is that's okay. An emergency jump off my leg, stabbing me a little bit to get to a snack. Apparently she was hungry after being treated with the greatest massage he's received all day, and certainly this week. Tough lives they lead, tough lives. As my wife would say, they're just our little babies. We are in the fight again for upgrades. Which one's the priority? The cheapest one to get it in there and kicking. All right, I already maxed out on the necromancers. 20 of them. Now we're working in for the overtime, and of course we already have a significant amount of them. Max out the reload time here, perfect. Production request 7,000. Might as well get these in because why not? 4 to 5, 100,000 please. That. We are cruising. This has been fantastic. And it was definitely necessary to get those prestige points to be able to get to this point. Especially in the comfort level. So I'm happy to see that these prestige points were upgraded. And we just finished these multipliers for all the production facilities finalized. So that's great. Here, make sure we're good. All the criticals, great. All the criticals, great. All the criticals now, great. We have them here maxed out as well. Okay, we're crushing on the production side. We have done everything we need to for that purpose. Happy to hear that. Happy to see that. One more upgrade for the beam width here. Might as well focus on that real quick. 16 million, 20 million. Already up to past our minimum or the maximum defaultly 20 for the necromancers. So we're really putting down the damage at this point. Yep, perfect. Let's actually see the stats here. The necromancer is actually doing the most damage of anything on the screen right now. I'm glad I really forced those through. That's great. And we still have plenty of upgrades for them, so we'll continue to prioritize them. Because they can hit so many targets at the same time. Now, there's a reason why they're one of the later defenders, I guess. Last upgrade for their damage, and then we'll get those criticals, chance, and multipliers from them. Just to solidify them as the perennial top one. And we'll keep adding them as they become available to us here. We got one more coming up here in just less than a million. Let's stay around for that one real fast. Bamming the click button now. Bam, nailed it. So 22 of 20 of those guys, they're worth every penny at this point. Get these experience upgrades. Well, chance one done first. 290,000 for the upgrade. Just a second, we'll get that. Experience is pouring in these days. Perfect. also upgrade the spawns of these Death Knights. I know it may sound strange, but we have the perk and the friends part that which one is it? Yeah, the number of the last unlocked enemy is plus 20. So currently we have a lot more of these Death Knights on the field than we have anybody else. I know I did talk about that earlier, but they're also the strongest attacker on the field right now. So we're compelled to say that they're probably worth the most. Can actually check that out here in just a second. Alright, so all the units unlocked. That's great. All the towers unlocked except for one. We'll get that here on the next island for a moment. Death Knights, though. They have a lot of health, their experience. Yeah, they're troopers. And we're getting as much experience out of them as we possibly can for the moment. We're going to upgrade that here in just a second. Let's max these guys out. Perfect. Okay, now our defensive measures here are maxed out. And we can see them coming in here. Right here, these, you see them at the bottom of how many of them are spawning. There's just so many of them. So many of them. That's got a lot going on the screen. Oop, got some upgrades here to get. Beautiful. Perfect. Okay. We'll prioritize a Death Knight improved training for the just more magnitude of experience gain in a little while. Let's see. That's good. We got all the nodes in all these previous islands except for the obelisks. And certainly prioritize that in some degree, but always struggle with these. They do a ton of damage, there's no doubt about it, and then the automated way that they're set up, they are worth it, especially for the fact that they are just constantly spinning and doing damage. They just are not, I think, the best way to go about the first and foremost upgrades. You're just leaking too much if you prioritize them over the base defense tower, especially if you're not always on that screen. That may be worth your while to go about that differently. I can bring some more experience to the table with those in just a second. Bigger areas. Let's get this monument maxed out here as well. Then we'll continue to spawn more things. Really snowballing this tier to the end. I think we're doing great. Happy to see that our progress has been a very linear progression, not only knowledge-wise, but also just in the preparation, pathways. An overall good way to go about things. Get this last guy. Perfect. 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 18 million. A lot of upgrades. It's all good. It means we're doing it. Okay. Obelisks are established for us. Ready to rock. Damage obviously is good there. All right, obelisks are now participating. They're at the bottom of the list there, right above the boss. And as you can see, they're keeping pace right now with the necromancer, and the necromancer was clearly doing far more than it needed to. So, good upgrades. Good upgrade. One more for this to max out. Perfect. Okay. So islands now we're maxed out. We're being able to handle the waves in this progression up to this point. Now we just need to continue to spawn things from our ice island / dwarf island to continue to bring mobs into the fold. We have our defensive towers from the next island. Our production facilities maxed on that island as well on our pathway forward. So let's continue to bring that into the fold here. Go. Spawns there. Really at this point we're kind of just adding clutter to the screen, but we're adding clutter that is beneficial. It's giving us more on the table to kill. And so more killing means more resources. How we doing alchemy wise? We got another one on the horizon here. Only a few million. Let's go ahead and wait for a second. Everyone take a sip. Stand for a moment if you'd like. Give it a good stretch. At the minimum, just kind of lean back and take a breath. Ready? Let's do a quick breath count. Maybe weird, I get it. Gaming's not really the ASMR of the world we live in today, but let's just take a moment. Breathe in. And breathe out. And this has been your Basil Gaming ASMR moment. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for joining us in that regard. Maybe we'll implement those going forward. Just remember here, we're sitting down, we're in a chair, we're laying on the bed, we're listening to this. No matter what you're up to, a quick breath will always be more benefit than not. And does appear we do have somebody watching this at this moment. Say hello in chat. Maybe they can provide us some feedback if they like what we're up to. B. Alright, all the XP from that island is finally kicking in. Zombies. Oh, perfect. Got 10 extra zombies spawning at the moment. We'll also increase our Death Knight experience bonus, as we have the most of them, more of them spawning right now than anything other. Given that, again, our prestige point provides that they. Here it is. Diplomat. Number of the last unlocked. Excuse me. Last unlocked enemy is 20 plus 20, and we can see that it's absolutely available for viewing here. Look at the spawn wave size of the Death Knights, kind of going from right to left here. If you look at the bottom of the screen, I think it's easiest to identify them as they come into the frame. They're just a gray mass of them spawning onto the field. Larger by comparison to the rest because of, again, that extra 20 of them participating. One more upgrade. It's an expensive one, but it'll max it out for us, give us more experience for their kill. Beautiful. One more upgrade for the multiplier and all the loot. Looking good. The ability to take towers beyond their default limit has been very helpful. Also, I don't think achievable without having the ability to carry all the extra loot kills as we have, and the multiplication of their health for loot benefits, just because that's a lot. And there's no way to lose this game, because even if you have mobs that leak through and are getting to the lava, you don't die. There's not lives to lose or a health bar to keep track of, but the efficiency of what we're doing would suffer. So with that in mind, we're doing what we can to alleviate that. Stay the course here and get this last monument upgrade for the radius of it. Just looking at the upgrade disparity here. At this time, last game, we had 200, maybe 300 million food production, and we just didn't have a chance to use. So I'm glad we were able to at least bring in additional archers and crossbowmen in this case. Love this. This is good. Alright, damage upgrades for the obelisk are going great. Alright, let's also look at the efficiency of this overall playthrough from this context. Which defensive towers, when you give a choice between A or B on each of these islands, are, in my opinion, better choice? Well, I don't think it's without a doubt here in my mind that the cannon is by far the better choice. It's a piercing cannon. If we do this playthrough one more time and we have the ability to choose now, in a sense, the free touch, I think the cannon would definitely be the way to go. It's got piercing. We can add more of them to the field. I don't know why you would ever want to go with a crossbowman. You can just pierce all the targets, especially since, as we can see from the game, look how many targets there are. The more you can pierce, the better, right? You're getting multiple degrees of damage on a given target at any given time, and I think that's really what we're trying to do here. In the same frame of mind, I had my doubts here about this Dryad Enchantress. I'm really bummed they don't have a damage multiplier, because if we look here on the defensive structure, they don't do that much damage. They only do 180. It's not great. But they do slow, and they do it in a splashing way. And while I would prefer the damage, the way that they've slowed targets, I think it's been more value than I would definitely would have given them credit for early on. So I think that going them, knowing how this plays out, is the better choice on the second island. The huntresses here with their piercing target are fantastic, but if we're going to be increasing everything's health by, magnitude levels of 100% and a 50% for both experience and loot drops at each of the different tiers of different mob spawns, blowing them will give you more bang for your buck on the long arc. And if we're going to be playing for the ultimate efficiency, that's what we're shooting for. On this orc island, I think the orc T women here, still, even with all their upgrades and the way we're playing it now, are just not as good. I say that not as good in comparison to what? Their counterpart here, the orc cannon. It shoots pellets, it's a shotgun, and it takes care of the short range things between the lava and about mid range on the overall killing field. The orc cannons are just fantastic. So I'd choose them in that regard. The bomb throwers, I think the bomb throwers are quite good. We did have great success with the dwarven hunters here. I don't know their exact names, but the dwarves with the knockback options. What's their name here? Doesn't give us their name in this summary of them. In short, they're really good. They do a lot of damage, but let's look at them more specifically for the fact that they only do white damage. And in the context of this game, if anything's going to have any armor, it's going to be white armor first and foremost. And then that's kind of it. You end up getting a couple of different mob types. For example, this iron golem, this, for lack of an actual title, rock golem. This golem here. Armor is really sparse on the green and the red damage, especially red damage. So I think having red damage is going to really go farther in the ability to do damage for longer for benefit purposes. So I think that would be the way you'd want to go in this choice. This is good. I like this very much. On this last island here, the Banshees were fantastic, and they also kind of did the pellet throwing. More of a shotgunner, similarly to this orc cannon. But now having seen these lich mobs shooting the green beam from left to right, piercing all targets within that pathway, that is too powerful. I say that in the too powerful as I want more of them on my team right now. And you can see them in the damage numbers that they're doing. They're doing 130k, 150k it's spiked up to there. Amazing. Great tower. More of them, please. And I'm even happier to have 5 additional right now because of the way alchemy is bringing them onto the field more and more. So, yeah. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and give us... Let's max out the food quantity of these suckers first, just to get more of them on the field faster. Perfect. So now we have food maxed out. Oh, well, yes, we don't. We're working on food maxed out right now for the different spawns that spawn here on this island with the Lich. And by food, I mean the resource-wise, so we can get as many of these guys as possible, because they're just awesome. Yeah, working on that. So recap-wise, prior to us getting to the last island, trying out the last defender, it's certainly going to be archer base. You don't have a choice there. Cannon. Try this enchantress, this dryad enchantress. Orc cannon. We'll do the dwarven grenadier. The lich. Winning. Just, I'm shaking my head and like a nodding. Feels good. I approve. To myself here in the room with my cats. Please try that route. I think that'll be your best bang for your buck. It'll set you up in a good way as you go forward. And let me know if you guys in the comments below if you've also found success maybe going that route. And if I were to do a speed run or try to maximize my ability in another playthrough, that's exactly what I would do. So. I may put a little caveat on my play just to do it. And that caveat would be this. Instead of maybe going experience first, they'll go rogue experience like I did. I might go rogue resource, footman resource, and so on across all the different spawns, and let those kind of marinate a little bit so that I can utilize my ability to have more of these towers, by more defensive people, just because that's more powerful maybe than you would think. Really stack those up. To what end, I don't know, but maybe just for maximization of all things. Yeah. Again, slight self-imposed caveat. I don't think it's a requirement by any means. See here. $0.4 million. And boom. Okay. We're doing it. Okay, let's do this boss spawn one, which we get one more of these liches. And that'll be at about 16 million? 16 million? 18 million. Math. Of alchemy. But we're getting as much alchemy as we possibly can right now, based on the fact we've upgraded all the loot benefits to all these targets so far to date. So we're going that route as quick as we can. Max these guys out too. Chat, stats off, please. Flooding the screen. Go back. Hold shift or right click. I'm right clicking. If I hold shift. Okay, now it went away. Strange. $44 million gold. Almost there for another Grenadier. Perfect. Got about 21 million left for another of our enchantresses. We're cruising on the archer squad here. We've far and away exceeded, obviously, in that category. We're certainly leaking, but we're not leaking too many things. My threshold for success in the leaking category, as I previously said, I think if I'm at least not leaking a third or less, let me rephrase. If I am only leaking a third or less of the total mobs on the screen, I'm considering this a success. I think we are achieving that goal now. There it is. The lich. All right, let's do a boss attempt here. Yeah, see how we end up doing. What are we doing here? Perfect. All right. Oh, yeah. Let's get this. I want to focus down that lich spawn. These guys still doing on the screen. Leftovers from the generic spawning. All right, obviously it looks like we mopped up here as a result of our really high upgrades on all our towers and how many towers we have. That didn't seem to be much of a problem. Let's try some of the additional levels for the lich spawns themselves. We didn't get the prestige point last go around on this one, so let's see if we can acquire that right now. And we'll just focus on these guys real fast. Let the rest of the towers take care of the rest. Nailed it. Next. Everything's spawning, everything's spawning. Dragging my cursor over the screen here with the obelisk in Q. Just to make sure that we're not losing damage on any of these particular guys as we're going forward here. That's it. No reason why. It helps slow down everything I touch, so it makes it easy. Keep going this route. Oh, right in front here. The different obelisks provide a number of different buffs. We have cold damage, we have knockback, we have apparently fire damage here, obviously more physical damage. So there's different damage types built into these different colors of obelisks on the screen. And by me sweeping back and forth, I'm able to apply all of those detrimental effects to the things that end up being hit by the obelisk, whether it's the small guys or these larger entities. Either way, just good to keep things slowed. All right, last level I think this is. Have not completed this one yet, so see what the circumstance is. Trying to vigorously go over the screen as much as I can. Actually, I think there's one more level after this one, to be truthful. Maybe not, maybe not. Maybe I misspoke. Do you think this is the last level at this point? There's just so many mobs on the screen. Trying to slow them down. There's no way we're going to get all the leaking. Don't think we're going to be able to achieve that. I think I made it way over there. How'd I miss him the entire time? No way. So much health I don't have the ability to get. And I have all the upgrades at this point and a bunch of extra towers to attempt this. This level may be overtuned for normal play, and especially to unlock a prestige point. Prestige points, of course, being, dare I say, the basis for being able to continue otherwise. Alright, let's go ahead and move forward here. Alright, the imps. Here's our damage choices. We went this white defender previously, and this time we're going to go with this guy who does more red damage. I don't know what type of damage he does, but it is a splash attack, which definitely conforms with how we've been doing things previously. There's our forge, there's our damage, enemy spawns. Alright, well, let's do that real quick. We have one of all these now, that's great. Go there. ton of damage on the multiplier. Let's just, yeah, got a good amount of funds now for that category. My ruins. I'm gonna max this out as best I can. 31 million. Don't really care about the damage of those guys just yet. 2.2 is really what we're shooting for here. Let's get it here real fast. 1 and 2. Beautiful. All the damage upgrades are in-house. What is it these guys do? And I'm staring. I'm leaning forward here, staring at them on the left-hand side. Like, what is the type of attack that they're throwing out there? It says they do splash damage, but what does that mean to me? Don't rightly know. Okay. Under reload. There's our big boy in a level. Spider Demon. Like, you guys have ever played Diablo 3 or a fan of maybe the writing of Diablo? Asmodon, one of the prime evils in the Diablo franchise lore. Kind of looks like that with an axe. Perfect. The upgrades. We are cruising here. The slow from those dryads, little enchantresses, so good. What's that looking like here? And they're even doing great damage because they're hitting so many targets in the density center. Great tower. I'll admit I can had my reservations about them, and that was ill advised. More bang for the buck. Increasing all the damage across the board, reload time, and critical chance, along with critical multiplier for all the towers we have. Just trying to beat back this herd of things making it across the landscape here towards the lava. Again, trying to just maximize our income ability here. Perfect there. All right, let's focus on some power upgrades in just a moment. One more upgrade for the production time. this point, I'd have to let this run for a significant amount of time for these last towers that we just purchased to really get well past the default 50 amount of towers. Even though we have that prestige point available to us, there's just not as much income going to be available. I'm gonna take it back. I think I do know what we're looking at now as far as these imps and their damage type. Maybe? Hold on. Nope, never mind. That was the grenaders. So the flame spray pop up in the area, and it's thought it might have been them. What are they doing? Reinforcements. Red splash attack. Maybe it's not. I absolutely do not know. Buy a bunch of that. We're maxed out on those guys now. Great, another lich. Those are fantastic. We have all of our obelisks can play. We're gonna go ahead and get the what is this? Area radius? Sure, get that. Beautiful, maxed out there. All right, we are on the precipice of. Oh, yeah, we already have a one extra. Okay. But we're well on the way now to finishing this out, getting the last upgrade, killing the last boss with no other island in sight. This is it, as far as islands go. Don't think we need to really get into this much. Maybe there. How's that? And one there for that. Small amount of push. Reload speed, another half second. I help this middle area where the Dryad Huntresses are attacking. This, look at them just melt. Pretty awesome. Good upgrades on our legacy. Very much. This is good. A few more upgrades in this area, and we'll be set. Oh, one more upgrade. And just our obelisk. Give it a shot. Comes that crazy I'm just gonna let this one go. This crazy prestige attempt point here. Maybe there's gonna be better luck with just the regular progression of the obelisk. In fact, I'm gonna go upgrade them as we go through this. Why not? Oddly enough, that was fantastic. I thought I was really adding some benefit by sweeping across the screen on the obelisk, and it turns out, no, I was in the way. There's still one more though. Okay, let's take it the full Monty here. Try level 5. Again, we'll let the obelisk just do its thing. Yeah. Seems like it's going horribly so far. More imps. We're just going to do a quick click on another attempt here. I think I might have messed up some of the obelisk flow only because of the way it kind of works out. There it is. Quick click. Let's let this ride, see what happens. Oh, they do spawn quickly, and at the front end, that's probably what happened. Things just get through. Doing damage type 1. Yeah, the imps are terrible. They're barely doing any damage. They're the worst damage performer, in fact. A bummer, but the way it works. Okay. Dryad, love to see that. Alright. Stream's been going for a little bit over 2 hours as we get to the very pinnacle of this playthrough. If you've enjoyed the content so far in this part 4 or the previous 3 parts, please leave a subscription to my channel, as well as maybe turning on the bell notification. Both of them are free. Don't take anything more from you than a passive participation, and it'll give you some information about the channel's progress, obviously, if it comes up in your feed. But most importantly, it's free, and it helps the YouTube algorithm sort out whether or not it should suggest my content to other observers. And if you yourself enjoy the content, maybe some others out there will as well. We can continue to build the community here, and every single time we have somebody joining us. So please subscribe if you can, and your free participation would be very much enjoyed. Thank you. All right, get notice from the better half. She's on the way home. She is going to run an errand real quick and then stop to pick up Cane's chicken tenders. Maybe a hot take. Cane's chicken tenders, while delicious, I think runs second to Zaxby's. Now, there may be some regional differences here, but also Church's and Popeyes, even of course KFC, more traditionally, for the chicken category of doing chicken tenders. Cane's is good. I think Zaxby's is the best. I think the breading is probably what I prefer, but we don't have them out here in the Midwest. Unfortunately, they're more of an East Coast pick, and we used to live on the East Coast in Florida, and they had them there, and they were fantastic. But let me know in the comment section, where do you guys rank your chicken tender locations? Again, what I have experience with, and like the true options, you walk in and chicken tenders are available in a fast food setting. We're looking at Zaxby's, Cane's, Church's, Popeyes, KFC. Now, if I missed any big names in your region, please add them to the chat as well, and we'll see how many people either agree or don't agree with some of our picks, and we'll go from there. Food questions, subjectivity is always interesting. You always find a good swath of things to discuss with any amount of people when it comes to food. My favorite thing to do as a family, either direct family or extended, even friends, is to go have a meal somewhere, whether it be in the kitchen, out on the barbecue, at a cookout, or at work, at lunch, or even, of course, just a more formal restaurant, sit-down type style. This is great. We enjoyed this. This was so much fun. Now, where do we want to eat next, right? Thanksgiving's always, well, man, it's been so fantastic. What are you guys going to eat for Christmas, right? Just as an example in our family. I hope that, as I smile discussing that type of information, I hope that many of you out there also enjoy that type of rhetoric and that conversation about food and the enjoyment you have with it, the memories it brings together, whether it is friends, family, colleagues, just sharing those moments in time, right? I can't help myself but to smile in this moment, discussing this idea with the channel, even if I'm only speaking to myself. So many good memories in my life have been surrounded by food, and I even watch movies that are food related. My better half and I, we recently sat down and watched the movie Chef, which is on Netflix, if you have that, with Jon Favreau, Scarlett Johansson, Sofia Vergara, and John Leguizamo. Just a great food film, and a good film all by itself. It is just one of those ones where you got a passion for food, you try to find where it can fit out in your life, and can't help but smile. At least that's my feeling on it. Let me know what all of you think. I'd be happy to read the comments and smile again, just thinking about the prospect of discussing food with friends, families, and colleagues, and of course now you, the community. So I know. I may be a weirdo, but I can be your guys' weirdo in this case. All right, let's try this level again here for these necros, and I'm gonna actually actively participate here with the slowing, just to make sure we're getting as much as we can on the slow. Don't know if it'll be enough. I'm just gonna try to do it best as we can. Like we had some success on the lower spot. But we might be doing it. We might be doing it. Yeah, we got this. This is great. Wow. Okay, so it took all these extra towers and all these extra upgrades, maxing things out, to really take on this level. You are the champions indeed. Well, and for our purposes, that really brings us to the head row here, where we've now 100%ed it. So let's bring on the boss and let's do it. Now I'm gonna let this boss attempt go with just the auto on the obelisk. Going from there. The big problem in the middle there is that boss, that Balrog slash what's their name? Dreadlord. On the return trip, more than halfway in the health category. And he's gone. Alright, we just have a bunch more spawns now of the lesser, we'll call them demons, given that we saw that Dreadlord or whatever mythical creature they're trying to mimic. And we'll have completed it. We have all of our prestige points in pocket. And we've just killed the boss as well. This tower setup, we got a couple extra purchases here we can do just for good measure. But what a playthrough. And if you have made it this far, let me thank you. If you've watched part 1, 2, 3, and now this fourth, bringing this to a completion, really 100%ing it and getting all the prestige points unlocked as we went through the process of leveling up and going through the single prestige previously. Good times, good game. Glad we were able to bring it as far as we have. The efficiency by which we did it, I think we maintained statically the rule that we didn't leak more than a third of the total mobs on the screen the entire way, regardless of how many upgrades we pumped into it. With the mindset that our production will fuel our defenses will support our production. I'm happy with how this worked out. Thank you all for participating. Please subscribe, put your notification bell on for the channel so you can be apprised of the new content we'll be bringing. I appreciate everyone for watching and taking part. Thank you again for your time and consideration. I know you have a lot of choices out there when you're viewing material on YouTube. Appreciate you coming to view mine. This has been a Basil Gaming production, and my name is Douglas. Thank you for thinking with me, being efficient. I wish you all the best and a wonderful rest of the day. Have a good one, and we'll see you in the next one. See what another game we could find. Continue on. Have a wonderful day.